Blue corner, 185 centimeters, 90 kilograms, K1 Japan Grand Prix 2002 semifinalist, Tatsufumi Tomihira!
Tatsufumi, Mr. Yellow Card, Tomihira is 29, 6'1", 205 pounds, 9 and 10 in K1.
In the red corner, 185 centimeters, 107.4 kilograms, K1 Japan Grand Prix 2004 champion, Hiromi Amada!
Hiromi Amada is 31, 6'1", 224 pounds, a K1 record of 19, 13, and 1. And Mark, again, because it is a single elimination tournament, the 3 knockdown rule that is customary in K1 is now a 2 knockdown rule for all matches except the final, as the referee will give the last-minute instructions. Each match in K1, 3 3-minute rounds. The match can end, of course, by knockout, technical knockout, decision, disqualification, draw, or no contest. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight. The fight is scored by 3 judges on a 10-point must system. And K1 promoters are hoping that these two will have a repeat of their semifinal war at the Japan Grand Prix last year. Now, Amada won that bout by 3rd-round knockout, going on to take the tournament, and many experts pick him to repeat as Japan champion this year.
He seems to have a bit of a size advantage here in weight. You know, he's a big man, doesn't look too solid in the midsection, but I mean, he's got the punching and kicking power that he needs to take this tournament.
Amada, K1 veteran, making his debut back in 1999 with a unanimous decision win over John Wyatt, and right now he is taking the fight in the early going to Tomihira, and you're right, there's a 20-pound weight disparity between the two, with Amada enjoying that advantage, although now Tomihira comes back with a couple of cut kicks.
Well, the lack of clinching now in this event, you know, the weight advantage is not as evident, because now you're not leaning on your opponent, you're not being able to like muscle him around. It's straight strikes. So, you know, with the lighter opponent, if he has speed, he can make up for the lack of size.
You know, Tomihira, a karate practitioner, the Japanese fans have dubbed him Mr. Yellow Card because, well, he has a tendency to record fouls, and here in K1, just like Pride Fighting Championships, there is a card system. A warning will be issued a yellow card, a point deduction for a red card. 2 cautions result in 1 warning, 2 warnings result in a point deduction. 3 point deductions in 1 round can result in a disqualification, and a red card is shown automatically if a fighter commits a foul with malicious intent. I hope you got all that, Mark. There will be an exam at the end of the show.
I got it, buddy. Tomihira really looks like he's improved his boxing skills, coming in more with a Western-style boxing, which you don't see too many Japanese fighters do.
You know, at the press conference to promote this fight, Amada said that he plans to once again go all the way and plans to win all 3 fights by KO. Right now in this first round, a bit of a feeling out process. There was a knee to the body by Tomihira, and again, it's rather obtuse if you, it's almost like a bit of a cloudy definition of really what can happen in the clinch these days in K1, because for a while there, some referees would allow one offensive maneuver and then call for the break, and you see this referee already allow a knee strike by Tomihira, but then on the second clinch, break them up right away. So it's almost at the referee's discretion, it seems.
Well, you know, they're used to fighting in certain rules, and, you know, when the referee goes from one event to another, he sees little things. To him, it's just natural for his eye to, you know, to see a guy throw a knee from there. Then he's got to think about, oh, geez, okay, wrong event, wrong rules. Then he steps in and makes the adjustments as he goes.
Last 30 seconds of this opening round between Tatsufumi Tomihira, with the red stripe down his trunks, and Hiromi Amada, the defending K1 Japan Grand Prix champion, who puts together a nice combination there.
Throwing those knees, Tomihira is also the the yellow card king, so maybe he's just looking to keep up with tradition and get himself one of those yellow cards in this fight as well.
We're down to the final 3 seconds of a cautious opening round. Tomihira ends it with a high roundhouse kick, but not much to speak of in that opening round. Round 2 is straight ahead. Mark, take us through some of the action of that opening round.
Well, Amada came in strong with some heavy blows. He's looking to land big power shots, trying to knock his opponent out right away. Tomihira seems to be more, being more of a Western boxer, coming in with some linear punches, and he's kind of coming through his guard. I mean, Amada was a little, little bit wild, I guess, haymakers in the beginning, but he settled down in the later end of the round.
And you could see from that replay that you're right, at the later stages of the round, able to score with those shots, those power shots. So we head into round number 2, and Amada definitely with the experience edge, facing some of the biggest names in K1 history, the late great Andy Hoog, Mike Bernardo, Mirko Filipovic, Jerome LeBanner, Vancouver's Michael McDonald, and Mark Hunt, to name a few. And immediately now back to the clinch momentarily. So Tomihira looking to want to pick up the pace a bit here, Mark, but Amada keeping him at bay with those combinations.
Yeah, but those leg kicks that Amada's taken is really going to take its toll in the later round. I mean, he keeps getting cut kicked and the push kick too. I mean, that takes the wind out of you. Amada standing very, very square and allowing himself to be an open target to these push kicks and leg kicks.
Again, going upstairs is Amada, while Tomihira, you're right, trying to take away the base. There's a high roundhouse kick that was blocked by Amada, tries to counter with a right hand of his own. Not a lot of proficiency really with the striking. It wouldn't be called, oh, there's a nice jab though by Tomihira, but Amada, like you said in the last round, Mark, not technically proficient with his striking, just really kind of swinging for the fences at every turn.
No, exactly. He's dropping his hands. I mean, being a 3-round fight, it's kind of hard to judge your opponent and get his timing and so on and so forth. But if Tomihira can catch his timing, when that hand comes down, he can come over top with his hand of his own or even a kick like he just did there.
Yeah, he's starting to put together some good kicks, attacking the lead leg of Amada, coming forward again with that outside cut kick. And really, Tomihira impressing a lot of people last year with his first-round knockout win over K1 veteran Mike Bernardo. And if anyone knows who Mike Bernardo is, you know that's quite the accomplishment, because he's known as one of the hardest hitters in K1. But Tomihira surprising him last year and looking to surprise Amada in this fight and atone for the loss in last year's semifinals.
Tomihira seems to have a good guard though. I mean, his hands are up. He's taking a lot of the punches on the gloves and on the forearms, so he's not really taking the beating on the chin.
And again, just comes forward, puts out that push kick like a leg jab. There's a nice combination by Tomihira. Now a high roundhouse, but countered immediately with that left hand from Amada. Amada now cutting off the ring, having Tomihira on the ropes. And really, Tomihira has to circle, doesn't he?
Amada there threw a knee of his own there.
And the referee stepped in to call for the break. And we definitely are seeing a tale of two different styles here. Amada busy with the boxing skills, the pugilism aspect, if you will, while Tomihira really going downstairs trying to break down Amada with those leg kicks.
Yeah, they need to start putting more hands, feet together in these combinations. And I find the footwork is very lacking in the sense that they're, like Thai fighters, just standing right in front of each other, just going at it.
Yeah, Amada now wanting to go to the body, a knee right up the middle there by Tomihira, and a body kick as well. We're down to final 10 seconds, and that really was a push down by Amada on Tomihira. So as the round comes to an end, how do you see the fight thus far, Mark?
I don't think Tomihira so far. I mean, he's more proficient with the punches and kicks. He's putting better combinations together, and I think he's getting some points on aggressiveness, taking the legs out there.
Well, Amada is known for his no-nonsense punch combinations. He's tried to put together a few so far in this fight. Does like to press the action, but let's see the action from that second round. Mark, take us through this.
Well, the two fighters are, basically feeling each other out still. It's hard, like I said, with 3-round fights to really get a feel for your opponent and get his timing down. So these guys are just going out to have their game plan, and they're just executing it. They're just coming out and doing what they did in training this whole time. Take their style to each other, no adjustments, and just, go in and follow.
You can see from the replay, though, as wild at times as he was, Amada was able to score, though, and that's really what the judges will be looking for, of course, the clean striking, the effective aggression, but, like you say, Tomihira as well, with his leg kick attack. It's still a very close fight, and we're into the final round now. The winner will advance to the semifinals later tonight, and you talk about a grueling journey to the World Grand Prix final. You must win 3 fights tonight here at the 2005 World Grand Prix tournament in Hiroshima.
You know, 3 fights in any kind of sport is tough. I mean, coming in 3 fights in a row, coming to the later rounds, you never know what's going to happen. There's injuries, there's fatigue, so many things take into factor. Your training, their conditioning. It's, you know, it really gets interesting.
Well, Amada, of course, has had success as he is the defending K1 Japan Grand Prix champion. As we mentioned, he was a finalist back in 2000. And, in fact, at his first K1 tournament at K1 Spirits 1999, he made it to the final where he met his career-long rival Musashi and suffered his first loss. And right now, he's in a tough tilt here with Tomihira. And Tomihira, again, very effective in the clinch. But again, it's up to the referee's discretion who, you know, what he allows in that clinch, which is very strange, but very endemic to K1's organization.
Well, into the 3rd round, you see Amada actually using the clinch to his advantage as well now. Start throwing knees of his own and using his muscle and strength and basically weight advantage to move Tomihira around a little bit.
Now, Amada again unloading with the left and a right. Most of those were arm punches, but again, trying to get his timing. There's a knee by Amada.
Nice body shot as well. You know, they got to be conservative in the first couple of rounds as well. Don't forget, they, you know, their potential fighting 3 fights tonight. So they got to start it off slow and then, hey, geez, you know, it's a close fight. Haven't knocked my opponent out yet. I don't have any, you know, clear advantage. So, hey, we got to let it loose. So these guys are in another fight.
And, of course, there is the school of thought that the fans who have sold out the Green Arena in Hiroshima have spent a lot of their hard-earned yen and want to be entertained as well, Mark. So you're right. I mean, it's definitely a fine line of being conservative, knowing that you have a tough road ahead of you, but also wanting to put on a good fight for the fans.
That's the beauty about the Japanese fighters too. You know, they know their role as entertainers, and the crowd really appreciates them in a loss or a victory.
And Amada has been known to be a bit of an old school showman as well, and now trying to unload all of his arsenal. Tomihira comes forward with another cut kick and another leg kick, but Amada just stands there and delivers a couple of shots of his own, goes to the body again.
Kicking Amada is like kicking a tree. I mean, the man is so solid. He has not been affected by any of these leg kicks, and he still keeps moving forward.
And he lands it right there, and Tomihira just definitely, I mean, you're seeing it. Tomihira wanting to go downstairs, Amada content to stay upstairs.
And, you know, unfortunately, the shots that are, well, not necessarily fortunately, but the shots that are being thrown to the head are the ones that the referees are going to count.
With less than 10 seconds remaining, Tomihira gets jacked to the jaw there with that right hand, but trying to maybe curry some favor with the judges for aesthetics with that weak spinning back kick. But it'll be interesting to see how the judges adjudicate this first quarterfinal matchup here at the 2005 K1 World Grand Prix in Hiroshima. And Mark, again, look at the action in that final round.
Well, here Amada's starting to throw with some heavy hands. He's got his timing down. I think he's got Tomihira a little bit fatigued. Went to the body, started loosening him up a little bit, and that opened the head up for his big overhand shots, as well as throwing some leg kicks that didn't hurt.
Let's find out who advances to the semifinals. An extra round here as they have scored this a draw, so we're going to overtime, which again in the single elimination tournaments is how they do things in K1. So a very close fight, Mark, and maybe justifiably so. We're going to an extra 3-minute overtime round.
I agree with the judges on this one. I mean, it was such a close fight, and you know, it started off a little bit slow, got exciting towards the end. Hey, like you said, the crowd paid to be here. Let's give them something to watch.
And they are definitely now going to probably pick up the pace. Tomihira comes up with a couple of kicks, and you know, there's a method to the madness of Hiromi Amada when it comes to his boxing. Was 86-16 as an amateur boxer, and in fact a 1996 All-Japan Amateur Boxing Tournament champion. So he definitely has a lot of experience when it comes to the sweet science, and a nice body shot by Amada.
He's using that body shot great now, and if you're looking at Tomihira starts to drop his hands because of it.
And he looks like he is beginning to feel the effects of these punishing blows delivered by the bigger Amada. And you see him being backed up with a left hook there. Now the body again, and Amada really going to work on the canvas that is Tomihira's anatomy.
Well, Tomihira's standing very, very square to him as well now. You know, he needs to turn himself a little bit sideways, use advantage of his long reach, and, you know, protect his body. I mean, he's taking shots to the gut now that just take the wind out of anybody.
And he's able to absorb those blows, but it looks like definitely beginning to be worn down is Tatsufumi Tomihira. Amada getting the better of him in this extra round thus far.
Yeah, those are heavy hands Amada's got. So every time he hits them, it's like it's just taking the wind out of this guy's sails.
And there's some unorthodox cut kicks that Tomihira's using. It's almost like a windmill-type kick when he comes in. It's I haven't really seen a kick delivered like Tomihira's doing here against Amada.
Well, it's kind of like bringing it down, but if he's really throwing it from the hip. He's not throwing his body behind it. If you look at his toes, are pointing right at his opponent, so he doesn't have his body behind it. You know, so it's really how much damage is he causing? Probably not all that much.
Yeah, it's almost a modified version of that Brazil kick that Glabe Feitosa's made popular. And, I mean, you got to see that thing to believe it. It's unbelievable. But it's also reaped dividends for him. But I don't know if Tomihira is doing what the judges will deem necessary to advance to the semifinals. I think Amada's really been able to measure him and punish him with his boxing skills in this extra round, Mark.
And it's also like, you know, what are the judges seen as damage caused? You know, Amada's not bleeding, and he's not like defending that front leg kick or Harley because it doesn't seem to be affecting him all that much. So, you know, is he hurt? No. So it's, you know, it's effective striking also. So if you're not doing any damage, yeah, the referee might lean the other way.
Yeah, and Amada also doing a good job of counter-striking in this extra round. And really seems to be owning the pocket, if you will. I mean, Amada not being pushed back whatsoever, even though he's in the corner, it's really under his own volition. And yet he's been able to really rock Tomihira with some shots here in this extra round.
Tomihira's getting a little fatigued there, trying to clinch, slow down the pace of the fight. He knows he's behind on points. I think he's getting desperate.
And I don't think it's ever a good sign when a fighter, Tomihira, was looking at the clock, I think, there the last few seconds, wondering when this round was going to end. And it is over, so we will now determine a winner as this opening quarterfinal contest between Amada, the defending K1 Japan Grand Prix champion, and Tomihira goes to the fourth round. And there's that kick we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he's not respecting the kick at all, so therefore he can stand right there and throw a counter punch as the kick is being delivered because he has no respect for it. It's not hurting him.
That's a nice jumping knee.
He was waiting around. He had to go for his yellow card sometime.
Yeah.
Nice high kick, but again, there's not much. Doesn't seem to have much power on his kicks.
Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of strength behind those leg kicks, and we'll find out now who advances to the final four. Unbelievable. I don't know what the judges saw in that round, Mark.
Not sure at all. My Japanese a little rusty, but wow. You know, maybe they went with the aggressiveness. I mean, Amada looks very disappointed in that one, and I can agree with that. He won that fourth round, in my opinion.
Yeah, the defending champion has been ousted. Tomihira advances to the semifinals in K1.